Well, it's just my imagination, running away with me. I tell you, it's just my imagination, running away with me. It was just my imagination, just my imagination. Great old song by The Temptations. So have you ever listened to the words of that song? It's all about a girl that she walks by, and I see her through the window, and I wish she was mine. It's kind of a sad little song, but she's not really mine. It's just my imagination. Yeah. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to Belle's Bargains. My name is Amy. So today, guess what today is? Well, it's a challenge video, and of course it's called Just My Imagination. Let me show you. So this is a video, Just Our Imaginations, the name of this challenge. It's an open playlist, and the host is Kathy Joe DIY. We love Kathy. I love to listen to Kathy laugh. And Brenda from the Rustic and Lace DIY, and Joanna from Joanna's DIY Life. So I'm gonna link all of their channels down below, as well as the playlist. You know how this goes. All right, so you'll notice the graphics on this are very Christmassy. I didn't really notice that until today, and I was like, oh, I didn't do Christmas. But it didn't say in the rules. Let me just tell you what the rules said, because this is the best part about this challenge. The rules say guidelines. They don't say rules, they say guidelines. Must use toilet paper, clean, it says in parentheses, mop head, and a pill bottle in your projects. You mentioned the host and the playlist. Anyway, so the challenge, use your imagination, was to use a roll of toilet paper, a mop head, and a pill bottle. Okay, well, it started for me with the pill bottle, and I was like, because I had already thought this, so I'm not gonna show you. Anyway, you'll see the pill bottle in there, but these were, when I found the emergency vitamins in gummy things actually at the Dollar Tree, and I bought quite a few of them, and they're down here, and I use them every morning and mix them in our protein shake and all that. But as I'm emptying them out, I was like, these are so perfect. At first, I thought like a trio, like a mommy, a cat, and a whatever. I might make the other ones. Anyway, so when this challenge came up, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna use one of those pill bottles and make one of those things. But then you had to use a roll of toilet paper and a mop head. So I bought the mop head. We happened to be at Walmart, and I was like, oh, I need a mop head for this challenge. So, okay, let me just show you the first one. I'm gonna start with my toilet paper, okay? And I'm like, what the heck do you make with toilet paper? I mean, there's so many cute things out there but I really wanted to make sure I was a little bit different. I just didn't want to be the same. And I didn't do Christmas. This first one could be Christmas. I could have done it completely different. It wouldn't have been Christmas, but I was going for Halloween because, of course, I missed all the Halloween crafting because I was moving when everybody was doing Halloween, and I was getting set up here, so I didn't get any Halloween crafting. And last year, oh my gosh, I did 31 straight days of Halloween crafts. You guys remember that? I should put together a Halloween craft video because they were so good last year, like my favorite ones. But anyway, so I did Halloween. But let me just show you the first one that I did. It's toilet paper. Well, parts of it are. What is this? Yeah, it's a book. It's a book that's, can you see it here? So I did like the exploding canvas, or what's it what they call it? The pop through canvas everybody's doing right now. But I did it with a book. Okay, but here, where's my toilet paper? Well, it's right there. And then our flowers, they're toilet paper. All right. And these picks I just bought at my 22 peso store last week. I held them. Okay, so I think it's kind of cute. I think it's kind of a whimsical sort of Halloween thing. But can I just show you how I made it? Yeah, let's show you that.
let's grab that roll of toilet paper. I'm going to rip off a piece, probably about, I don't know, 4 feet long, probably about. And then I just fold it like 2/3 down over, I guess. And that's just so you get that nice double edge. And this is just kind of a twist and scrunch, a twist and scrunch, a twist and scrunch. Go all the way around, and it sort of gets its shape like a flower. And then I just took tape, just regular clear tape, and taped around the base of it. And then this is just a purple marker, and just going all over the tips. Looks very much like a marigold, wouldn't you say? And so just like coloring the flower, basically. And then in the center, putting some darker bits, just like actually you would see on an actual flower. I mean, it's kind of amazing to think this is toilet paper, and it worked really well. But anyway, and then I make about, I guess I probably made 5 of those. And then I decided to make a couple little buds, and so I just took a much shorter piece, folded it in half again, rolled it up, taped it. Somehow I didn't film that, and then I just tipped the edge of it with the marker. Okay, so now I have this book, which has a black inside cover, which is what I want to use. And luckily, the side pretty much came off on the other side, which was great, because it meant I could use it to glue over the side, the binding of it, with the black. So I get to get it all apart and remove the book completely from the spine, or from the cover rather, and then the exposed spine there I'm going to cover with the black paper. So I'm going to cut this one off. And yeah, I just used my X-Acto knife and cut it off. And then the piece that I ripped off, which is the opposing side, and the extra that came off it, I'm going to wrap it around so it covers that spine, and then I'm going to do an overlap of about 1 inch onto the back side. And there we go. We cover all that up, and I've got basically a black book to work with here. There was a little bit of yellow on the ends there. I just cut that off. I just cleaned it up a little bit. I wasn't too worried about this being perfect. I mean, it's a Halloween book, right? And then I just decided to try something a little bit different here, obviously, and everybody's doing the poke-through canvases. So my idea was kind of do the poke-through book. I'm going to do this again and do it a little bit differently, but for this one, I'm just going to slice into it and roll back some pages. Okay, first let's get the binding cover on there. Like I said, I just taped it around and cut it off. I'll do that in a second here. But I started to cut into the pages, and so I would cut a few pages, and then I would move those over, then cut a few pages, leaving one on top. So I always had a template, which that worked fine, by the way, I gotta say. And now I'm going to put this on. Excuse me. So sorry, guys. So I'm going to cut it off, like I said, with a little overlap there. And I'm going to paint some Mod Podge on the spine and on the little over piece and wrap it back onto the book. So the front piece is, of course, just going to be like the cover, and then it'll wrap around the binding into the back. I think I'm talking too much about this. You guys are going to see exactly what it is. Okay, so once we do that, then I'm going to have to cut into the cover, right? So I've cut into my pages, and but I'm going to need to cut the cover with the same pattern. In hindsight, I should have put this on and then done it, and it all would have been together. It's okay. It wasn't that hard to just flip it over, and I had just used the one page as my guide right there to cut through to the front page. So I cut through to the front page, and now I'm going to sort of roll these pieces out so I can decorate inside of the book, kind of. All right, this takes a little bit longer than it probably should have on this film. But anyway, we're going to get it all cut. Then we're going to start rolling back. And then, see, it's just like a poke-through canvas where I have these rolling it out and exposing the inside of the book. There's so many things I could do with this, not what I did this time. I mean, there's other ideas on what I could do at this point with a book. So I'll probably do some in the future. Anyway, then I decided I needed to use up the rest of my toilet paper, or so I thought. So somewhere along here, I start coloring the toilet paper. Oh, and at first I thought I would glue down these pullouts by rolling them in so you wouldn't see the point. I ended up not doing that. I ended up just going with the point, gluing down the point, FYI. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in this and then some green paint and some purple paint. And I'm going to take that toilet paper roll and dunk it in there and sop it into that color. And then I'm going to set it outside to dry. And my idea with this was, it didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be. But at first I was going to do this and like shred it all up and make it like the mossy green grass on the inside of the book before I put the floral stuff in. It didn't exactly work out. I'm fine with how it did work out, but and then I needed to tie the book together because of course I'm pulling up on those pages as I'm taping them down, and so I just cut the edges off of that placemat, and then it was like a leather string almost that I could tie the book with, and it was silver, which was perfect because the florals have the silver sparkle spider webs in them. All right, then next I'm going to take some styrofoam, I think. No, I start to put the tissue, the toilet paper into the center there, all right? So it actually wasn't a bad idea. Can you see what I was getting at, right? I was just doing that purple-green. It's kind of grayish Halloween colors. But in the end, I pull that all out, and I go in the other direction, which is to take the styrofoam and glue 3 pieces of styrofoam together, and then I cover them with the toilet paper that's purple and the green. And then that was fine because it covers up the styrofoam. And then I had something to put the stick the florals into. And so once I do that, I set it aside, obviously, to dry, then glued it inside of the book, and then went to putting all the florals in there. So right here, it's already in the book. So, I mean, it does sort of work, right? I still covered it using my toilet paper. And then when I was putting these flowers on, I was cutting off the base of them and then gluing them onto one of the stems on these picks. And I just went to decorating this and putting them in however I saw fit. And I also did go back on one of the flowers and painted or markered the underneath it, like the base of it. It was on the higher flower that you could really see it. Didn't necessarily have to do that. And I did cut down one flower. I made one that was too big. So it was just experimental here. I'm adding a bud on right there. And then I added a couple of spiders. And I took some of the spider webs off of the stem and put them, down below. There I'm adding a spider. Anyway, I just had some fun with it. So I actually think this came out really cool. And to think, it all started with a roll of toilet paper. How spooky.
So I have to say, this is actually probably the most difficult craft that I did this week. And in hindsight, I mean, the exploding book idea, I think was a good idea, but then in my head after I did this, I was like, well, it would have been really cool, like if a skull had been coming out of it or a hand. And I might do one next year for Halloween, a little bit different, but I had to use my toilet paper. I could have paper mache, I suppose, a hand with toilet paper. Also would have been good. But I didn't, I made roses. Not roses. They feel more like marigolds. You guys feel like, yeah. And then see on this top one, like I markered the bottom of it. I didn't on the other ones. They weren't really showing that much, but that one did. So I think my toilet paper flowers came out really cool. And I think my book did too. And this, did you guys happen to notice that? I just hauled that placemat. And I'm like, when I went to glue this down, the pages were lifting up. And I'm like, shoot, I need to tie it. But I didn't want to use that twine I had. But the silver from that placemat, which I just cut it off and made it like a piece of leather twine, was perfect. So I'm happy with this. I love how all the elements came together. And I even took that purple and sort of did a little darkening on the spine with that same color. Anyway, I think it all came together really well. It looks super cute sitting on a table. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't write anything on the book spine, and only because I did not have my I would have. I don't have my markers, my metallic markers that would have written on there. And so I'm like, yeah. But if I had, I would have said, you know, Book of Spells or Blooming Horror. Blooming Horrors would have been good, right? That would have been a good one. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. So there's my toilet paper. I used it. Tried to use it all. A little failure on when I was dunking it. It ended up fine in the end, but yeah, anyway. Okay, so the next one was a pill bottle. So these are you'll see in the video the pill bottles I used. But I made a mummy. He's super easy, right? And look, see, I kind of left this because I thought it was cute. It was like he's trailing some of his bandages. So simple. Like, this is so simple, but just like a cute little... Now, what would be really cool is to drill a hole in the bottom of it, which would be easy to do. Actually, I don't have to drill, just put my glue gun, and I could put some lights in there. I didn't. I'm not doing that much work on stuff that I'm throwing out here for decorations, because most of it I'm just going to give away. So, no, I'm going to give away all of it. All right, let me show you how I made this one. It's so easy.
Let's make a mummy. That jar, got my jar sheets. I'm going to lay them all out and I'm going to cut me some strips so that we can start wrapping the mummy. And the jar sheets, gosh, they worked so perfect. So I'm going to cut them all in strips, and then we're going to take some Elmer's glue. We're going to add it to some water, and we're basically going to like paper mache almost, right? The strips onto this mummy. The one thing I could have done differently is I could have painted the top, because it took a little bit to get that all covered up because it was so orange, but that's okay. You can't see it, you can't tell, so I guess it didn't matter. I had to get it covered up. And I just randomly wrapping, blah, 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 kept wrapping. So, and like a couple of pieces were hanging off the side. I thought I would trim those all off. I ended up leaving a couple of them on there because I thought it looked funny, like he was unraveling and parts were following behind him. So after I let that dry, I think I let it dry overnight, then I went to glue on a couple of eyeballs. But I'm going to have to add some more strips on after this, because I'm going to want to do just a slight wrap over his eyes. And also I added a little bit of brown paint into it, hoping that I could sort of get a little bit of a tan aged-ish color on the strips, on the last strips that I put on. It didn't really terribly work too well. So after I put this on, and right there, I just slightly wrap over one eye, and I set him aside to dry again. Then after he dried this time, I took some brown paint and watered it down, and then just sort of tried to, I'm just pouring the last of the glue over him there. But see right here, I'm just sort of trying to add a little definition to the strips of the faux bandage strips on here, which it helped. And then I'm going to add a spider. And I cut the legs down on the spider because it looked too big. And then I just glued him on, and our mummy is done.
But you see what I'm saying about how I was trying to darkening where the bandages were, because it was just like, you just couldn't really tell. Marcus says they still need to go darker. I don't think so, but whatever. Okay, so that was my mummy. That was my pill bottle in just my imagination. Sorry, I'm reaching. But this one is my favorite one. I think it's gonna be everybody's favorite one. No, I know this is gonna be everybody's favorite one. So the next one was we had to use a mop. And I'm like, all right, there's so many ways you could have made a broomstick out of a mop, could have made a Cousin It thing, a gnome, you know, like lots of people are gonna use the mops for stuff like, I'm sure. But I was like, okay, I'm saving all these bottles because I'm making stuff out of trash. By the way, did we talk about this? Like, this was that free book, so that was definitely trash. And then recycling of the pill bottle. And so this one is recycling of the bottle. And it started out with the mop, and I was like, I think it would make really good witch's hair. Do you not love her? I love her. We need to name her. And Ferdinand, you're awfully quiet today. Why are you so quiet, huh? Don't you like my Witchy Poo? Witchy Poo. Was it Witchy Poo was on, yeah, whatever that show was, yeah. Oh, well, Halloween. Halloween is, it's like Dia de Muertos for you guys, but yeah. So anyway, so look at how cute she came out. I'm in love with this hair, so can we just for a moment talk about the hair? Now this witch's hat I just hauled last week on the headband. Worked out perfect for a little topper on this little witch. Almost looks like a trans witch. Okay, ready? This was, I wanted to ombre the hair. Like, you guys, how cool did this hair turn out, right? Like, how cool is that? So that's how this started. I was looking at the mop head. I'm like, kind of look like witch's hair. And I was like, okay, I want to make it purple hair. And I was like, I'm going to ombre it. And the reason I knew I could ombre it, because anytime you have something that's going to soak something in, you can control how much soaking is done in different areas. And so I knew that if I did a top dunk, I could pull it out and I'd have the purple would just sort of fade up. Don't you love it? And Marcus says I need to paint more. He says that face is just too much, Amy. You need to do more painting. And I think I might do more character bottles. All right, let me just show you how this was made.
Okay, this was a bottle that I painted green and somehow wasn't filming. But obviously I just painted it green and then I let that dry. It's a good witch green, isn't it? Witchy green. Now I'm going to take some purple. This is the bottom of a 3-liter soda jar that I cut off and sort of made it like a little bucket here. And I put some water and some purple paint in there. And I'm going to take my mop head right there and we're going to dunk her, and I'm going to ombre it. And the way that I do that is to, the water isn't going to completely fill up. It's going to soak up the water, and so it's going to soak up less and less of the color the further up we go because it's not getting as much submersion as the bottom is. And I added a little bit of water to get it to soak up just a little bit more. It was too dry at the top. And I'm just, see that? And you're going to get a lighter color at the top and a more intense color on the bottom. Oh, I think the ombre effect on the mop came out so good. I was really, really, really happy with this. And then I pull it out and I walked it into, I think, the guest shower and I hung it up to dry. And it took, I dried it in the shower overnight, and look at that. You guys see that? It's so cool. And then at one point, there was still some paint and stuff left in there, so I did a second little dunking just to soak up the paint after it had dripped for a little bit. And then the next day, I took it outside and laid it out flat to finish drying. But look, the ombre effect, it's really cool. Okay, and now it's all done. But I need to get this mop holder thing off of here. This took a little bit of engineering. Eventually, I get out my X-Acto knife and I sort of cut through what's holding it together in there. Well, my wire clippers. Anyway, do a little bit of fighting with this, but eventually I got it apart. And then I had to keep my string tied together, or my mop head strings tied together, right? I don't want them just freely out there because I'm going to have to attach them to the bottle. There's way too much footage of me trying to get this off there, isn't it? Anyway. Eventually they get it out of there. Now they take that one piece, the last little piece that was stuck in there, and I'm just going to knot this around to keep all my mop pieces together, right? I don't want them to, we still have to have basically a mop. All right, and then One came out, but it's okay. We're going to get it back in there. And then I'm going to get the bottle, and I have to figure out, like, how am I going to put my hair on the bottle? So in the end, I take the piece out that I just tied it with, and I'm going to put the hair, split it in half, put it over the neck of the bottle, and we're going to tie it on both sides of the neck. So one tie there, and then one tie on this side to keep that hair wrapped around the neck of the bottle, which worked out perfectly. And it gives me my ombre witch hair on my bottle. You see right there? It's almost like giving it a pigtail effect, right? Okay. And then after that, I think I grabbed the witch hat. And the witch hat had some, like, stuffing in it, I think. Yeah, like stuffing inside the top of the witch hat. We're almost there. There we go. Hair's on. So I have to take it off of the headband first, and it just rips off really easily. It just totally ripped off super easy. And then I'm going to cut it open, because first of all, I'm going to put this witch hat over the top of the bottle. So I've got to cut into it, get all that stuffing out, and then make sure the hole's big enough that I can just slide it over the top of the bottleneck. So took the cap off because it was going to make it wider. I probably could have left the cap on. Oh, I could slide the hat off, put the cap on if I want. Anyway, so take all the stuffing out, and then we're going to slide it over there, and woof, it works perfect. It like works so perfect, actually. I love this. So that goes over, and next we're going to have to put a witch face on this. So it's so cute. So I just laid it down on its side and went to town putting a witch face on it. Now I'm not going to give you too much talking about how I painted the witch face on. You can just watch me. It's marker, it's paint, and everybody's going to do it differently. And I made some mistakes, but then you can paint back over it and remarker over it. So. And that was it. I gave her a really long face because it's a bottle and it's a long bottle. But of course, I could have made the face smaller and given it sort of a neck or a body. Or anyway, Marcus said could have put feet sticking out of it, like a gnome. I was like, yeah, but I didn't. Anyway, so I'll let you watch me just play with the witch face on my bottle here, and this is my absolute favorite. I think it's going to be everybody's favorite from this video today. And she came out really adorably ugly. So, all right, I'm going to go to drawing and painting on a face.
it was pretty easy. Okay, so paint the bottle, no big deal. The hat, I mean, I could have made a hat as well. I just don't have all the supplies, right? I don't have ribbon and material and all that here. So this little hat was perfect, and it just goes, well, you guys saw, I just put it over this is the top of the bottle, right? So that was perfect. And ombreing the hair was very simple. So one of the things that's weird though here in Mexico is they sell 3-liter bottles and 1-liter bottles of soda. They don't sell 2 liters. So that's a 3-liter. So that would be a little bit bigger than a 2-liter bottle. Jax, hold on, baby. He wants it. And so, but you could use anything that you're gonna dunk that into, and you're, you know, when it's, you saw what I did. Anyway, just to get it to soak up and then pull it out, and it was gonna be more, was gonna be on the bottom. Okay, I love her. Witchy Poo. Do we like Witchy Poo? Should we, I mean, Esmeralda, also a good name, Ferdinand, I like it. All right, guys, so that was just my imagination. Ooh, 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 running away with me. It was just my imagination. All right, anyway. So tell me, which one do you like best? I mean, actually the toilet paper flowers they're pretty cool. And the mummy is pretty basic. I feel like this one is a great one you could do like with grandkids or something like that. And then Witchy Poo here. I mean, Esmeralda, sorry. Sorry. Sorry, Ferdinand. Okay, Esmeralda it is. We'll totally name her Esmeralda. All right, guys, so that's it. Everybody, I hope you really like that. Please don't forget to go down and check out the hosts and the guest host channels. Make sure you go and visit them. And then also check out that playlist. This should be a fun one. I don't know. I'm probably going to be the only Halloween one because I feel like I totally missed that it was, but they'll forgive me. So it's fine. To throw a little wrench in the thing. So anyway, and Esmeralda here, say goodbye to our besties. Goodbye, besties. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day, great week, a great life. Please don't forget, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. And you can go back and find all this out. But we live in Cabo San Lucas now, and I'm doing a lot of recycling and trash to crafts. So, so look for that, because there's no Dollar Tree here. But I do 22 peso hauls. Also, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I mean, if you like it. And if you don't. And then leave me a comment down below. I would love to know which one of these was your favorite. Or put them in the order of your favorites, but I think Esmeralda, you're gonna win.
Of course I will.
Yes, you will, Esmeralda. All right, everybody. From your singing crafty crafter, just your imagination. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's all you need to craft. That is all you need, guys. All right, we'll see you next time here on Bella's Bargains. Till next time, toodles. Say goodbye, Ferdinand. Oh, very good, Ferdinand. He's getting better. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.